Back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how to finish up a placket. So to do that, I have this piece of fabric is about 3 inches width, and then this is the line that I'm using for the placket. So what I'm going to do now is on this side of the shirt, I'm going to put this in here and make a stitch on it. So I've attached this piece here to the fabric. um and I made sure that the stitch stopped right before the line here, or just the same place as the line, so that I can fit it into this. So now if I check mine, I will see that mine didn't get to this line, so I'm going to trim it a little bit. You're supposed to stop at least just before the line so that you can be able to fold this in, right? So what I'm going to do now is to fold mine in so that I can finish up this side. So to fold this side, this fabric is too much, so I'm just going to trim it a little bit. So probably use about 2 inches or maybe 1.5 for the width of what you're going to be using to finish up your placket. So I'm going to fold this in this way, fold it one in, and then fold it twice this way. So let me open it up again. So first thing, you fold the edge, right, the rough edge, one, and then you fold it again, two, right? So now you can sew on top of it. Basically just fold the end, the rough end, and then fold it into two. So now you're still stitching on top. You're still stitching on top of this fabric here. You're not folding this fabric, this particular one here, you're just folding the excess. So when you fold it, you flip it on top here, and then you turn it around this way and make a stitch on this line, the line between this fabric and the other one. So you stitch it down. As you can see, I've gone ahead and ironed this part. I've folded this, I've finished up one side, right? This is what it looks like. Just basically folding this end, and as you can see, it's still close together. So what I'm going to do now is to finish up the other side of the placket. So what I'm going to do on this side is to take my fabric. This one, as you can see, the one I'm using for this side is wider than the one I used for this side. There are different ways of putting in placket, but this one is my own, the way that I prefer to use. So it's my own method. So you could find other ways to do it. So I'm just showing you my own, the way that I prefer to do mine. So I'm going to put this here and then make a stitch down. Your placket can be longer than this, or it can be even shorter than this. So mine is just this length that I'm using for it. So I'm going to sew all the way down here and leave about half an inch to fold the end in, to tuck this end in. So I'm just going to sew all the way half an inch from the edge here. The same way I sew down this one, I'm going to sew down all the way and then stop half an inch before I get to this tip here. So now that I've put this in, now that I've stitched this onto the fabric, what I have to do is to fold this way, right? Fold it this way and then flip it in like I'm folding it in, almost not into two, but just to fold the end this way, right? See what I'm doing here? Fold the end and then flip it into two. Now, like after folding the end, now I'm going to flip it in two and turn it around this way, and then straighten it at the end. Just adjust it enough inside, and then you close up your stitch. And then you straighten it out. So this is how I make my own plackets here. So you see, now I'm going to go and stitch. I'm going to stitch on this end here, and as I'm stitching on this end, if you look inside, you will see that the fold I made went beyond the line, that is like beyond the line that I'm going to be sewing on. So if I sew on this line now, I'm going to be holding this down at the back too. So I'm going to sew all the way to the end, fold this in, at the end, the half an inch that I left. Now I'm going to, all these ends here, I'm going to fold it in this way, come back again, sew all the way to this point, stop maybe at the 6 inches from the end, and then sew it down on this side alone, and then that's the end to finish up the placket. Let me just show you again. So this is open this way. I'm going to fold it in at the end here. Remember, I'm using like 6 inches. You can use any amount you want if you want it like tinier. So I'm using about 6 inches here. I've already sewed this end down to this point. I left half an inch so that I can tuck in this end and finish it up. I folded this part. If I fold this part this way now, about 1 inch, by folding it in this way, 1 inch. Now I'm going to close it in almost halfway, turn it around this way here, and then hold it down and put it together here. Just once you fold it in here, hold it at this end and then pull it at this part here so that you could put it in order. So here, this is my placket here. So I'm going to stitch on it and then bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead and sewed all the way down. So I started from here. I sewed all the way down to this point. I tucked it in. I tucked in the ends here, and then I went this way, back again, up. I stopped at this point. You could see the stitch here. I stopped here, and then I went up zigzag here, just to make a strong stitch here, because this is where this is going to stop. So you see, I stopped before. This is where the line that I made for the placket, this is where it stopped, and I went 1 inch above it to stop the main stitch. So this is where it's going to stop here. This is the other flap of the placket. So if you put it this way, this is what the neckline would look like. This is the stitch on the inside. This is the shorter flap here. This is the bigger flap here. So normally, if you want, you could put maybe a button here, or if you want, you could put like pin the hook and eye. You put it here, or pressing button, whichever one you want. I think pressing button would work better, so that it presses down this shirt when the person is wearing it. So I cut this. I wanted to show how to finish up the neckline after putting in the placket, because I finished up the rest of the shirt. So I cut a piece of this to use as the bias for the neckline. So what I'm going to do is to start like half an inch before the end. Like I'm going to leave half an inch at the end here, and I'm going to put it in here, and then sew all the way. Sew this on top here like half an inch at the end here. Just sew all the way and attach this round the neckline. So I left some piece here before starting. This is where the placket ends, but see the half an inch that I left at the end of the placket. So what I'm going to do with this half an inch is I'm going to fold this in, fold the half an inch in. Now it's the same line as the end of the placket, right? It was more than the placket. Now it's the same if I fold it in. So now I'm going to fold this like the same way you use a bias. So I'm going to fold it in all the way and then sew and finish up the neckline. So guys, this is it for the neckline here. I've finished it, and yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.